Hi, I'm Rachel and welcome to How to Connect to Bellona. Bellona is the war goddess of ancient Rome, and she was believed to be the personification of force. She can support you in discerning when to go to battle and when not. So we all have a fire within us that believes in something, that cares for something. However, sometimes there is a time to fight and there is a time to step back, to reflect and be calm. And she can help you to work out when is it the time to stand tall with your sword and when is the time perhaps to be still and listen. She's also an ally for helping you work out and then utilize your strength and your skills. So if you do have that burning fire, that you know how to take action for it. Now, Bellona was often depicted riding a chariot, holding a torch, or a spear or a sword. And so for my top 3 tips, I'm going to explore 3 of those symbols and what they mean for you and how you can connect to her through those symbols. So my first tip is actually to connect to the torch. And the torch is your why. It is the fire of why, the burning fire within you that motivates you, that inspires you, that incentive to do something, to be something, to change something, to stand for something. Now, often we're not quite sure what our why is. We know what we want to do, but our why is what's going to give us that stamina to keep showing up. It gives us direction. We know what we're going towards and why we're going, so that we can keep showing up and we can be courageous on behalf of that thing. Now, a really good way to find out what it is that is your why is to actually look at what frustrates and angers you and then follow that anger and frustration to the root cause. So a really easy example of that might be litter picking. So say you saw somebody dropping litter. It's not that piece of litter that is, the thing that really gets you angry. It's that action. And the root cause of that is this perhaps desire to protect nature. So it's not the litter, it's the animal that may choke on that litter. It is the child that may cut themselves on that litter. And so your why is caretaking, is having compassion and understanding, for those that are innocent and vulnerable that might be affected or harmed by that litter. So if you were to go and make and create a anti-litter campaign, that would be your why. You're not just saying, oh, I just don't like littering, or littering's bad. There's a heart behind that, that is the driving force and that which wants to make a change. Another example may be in relationships. If your partner does something that really annoys you, rather than looking at their action, blaming them, getting angry at them, let's look at the feeling that you are currently experiencing. So what does it trigger or bring up within you? So say they're looking at their phone all the time, then you're thinking, well, is this within me? Is this a longing to be seen, to be heard? Do I not like being ignored? Is it a comparison? Am I feeling jealous? Is it about a concern or a worry for their health? So finding that root cause and that why as to what your feeling is before you go into battle and start saying, no, don't do this. It really annoys me. Why? Kind of understand the why behind it. And so I would connect to the symbol of the torch to bring insight. The torch is lighting up the way forward, so it's giving you clarity so you can see where it is you want to go and also where you've been. So you may want to use a candle perhaps, or incense, lighting something to connect to Bellona if you are needing a time to step back and to connect to your why. So fire of any kind, it really is her element, just being present with it to connect to her. You may also want to use the colours of red or black, orange or yellow to symbolise that flame, or to wear them maybe to feel that within you. So my second tip is the symbol of the sword, and really this is the when. So this is about discernment of when to use your fire, when to act and when not to act. So a master swordsman, he knows when to use his sword, how to use his sword. You know, he doesn't want to go down if his opponent has gone up. He knows when to step left, when to step right. He also knows when to attack and when to defend. He also knows when to hang up his sword and when his sword is not needed, but words are walking away are needed instead. So we need to become the master swordsman, and the sword is very much about this discernment and choosing the when to use the fire and not when to use the fire. So you may want to bring in the symbol of the sword and have the sword maybe as a pendant would be a really nice way to wear it and connect to Bellona. And ask her anytime that you're trying to make a decision, you know, about when to do it, about when to speak, when not to speak. The third symbol is her chariot. Her chariot is about how. So the chariot is the vehicle. So we now have the why. You might have worked out the when. So say your partner's really annoying you. Why is he annoying you or she annoying you? When are we going to discuss it? When would be a really good time, you know, to bring it up? Do I bring it up or do I not bring it up? And then we have the how, which is the chariot. So how do I go about this? So like I said, this chariot is this, what creates this movement. It's what's holding her. What's really important about her Bellona riding the chariot is that she is riding it. So often, you know, in ancient chariots, they would have someone that was sitting throwing the spear, someone that was riding it, okay, in control. She is the one that is riding it and has the spear. This is symbolizing self-responsibility. So being responsible for yourself and for your actions. Is also, the chariot is representing your skills and your strengths. So are you really good at you know, maybe baking, maybe improvised dance. Maybe if you've fallen out with your partner, you could do an improvised dance to show them how you feel. I'm being silly, but, you know, seriously, if there's a way that you write a poem, you know, that you write rather than speaking, because that's the way that you actually can express the best. Or if we're looking at the litter picking, you want to do a campaign, perhaps you're really good at doing crochet, and so you're crocheting lots of animals, you sell them to raise money for the campaign. Or you could be the speaker for the campaign. You could be the designer that does the posters. There is a way that you can contribute and that you can use your fire, and it's going to be unique for you. We all have our own skills and our own strengths. So work with Bellona with the symbol of the wheel. Think of the spokes of the wheel, which are the little bits that go out from the center. They keep the structure of the wheel, they keep it strong. Think of each spoke as a strength of yours or a skill of yours that you have, that you could perhaps use in a certain situation to either support the going forward of your dreams or of that which you are standing up for. Those are my top 3 tips for connecting to her. This has been like a brief introduction. I am going to do a longer podcast episode on Bellona, exploring her more historically, also metaphorically, symbolically, and as a guide and guardian. So I'll drop the link down below for that podcast so you can explore her a little bit more if you want to know more about gods and goddesses of ancient Rome religions, ceremonies, festivals, and how to connect to the whole pantheon of the Romans. Then I have a book, A Pantheon of the Romans, that you can read, and other books on Roman gods and goddesses and connecting to nature and nature's magic. Again, I'll pop the links down below. If you have any questions here and now on Bellona, or anything ancient Rome, you can pop that down below in the comments. I would love to hear from you, any sharings, your biggest takeaway. I'd love to hear that as well. Of course, you can always DM me if you want to share privately on Instagram or wherever you can find me, please do so. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope that it supports and inspires and empowers you. Many blessings for your continued journey with Bellona.